Happy 6th day of Christmas. 6 geese a-laying, what better to talk about than our beloved Cobra Chickens? So, our beloved Canada geese, more known on the internet as Cobra Chickens because, fair enough. They are a type of goose species that, while being called Canadian geese or Canada geese, are not native to only Canada. They can be found throughout a bunch of areas in the more northern states as well. Additionally, some have made their way over to areas in Europe. I don't think they're considered invasive there. They were not introduced, most likely. Some of them just, got lost migrating and ended up in Europe, and that's where they're hanging now. So, most of the time, Canadian geese are migratory. They spend the warmer summer months up in the colder areas of Canada in the northern states, but during the winter, they're like, nah, fuck that, and then decide to migrate down to the warmer parts of the states and sometimes even into Mexico. However, somewhat recently, there's been large populations of the geese that have just decided, nah, we're not gonna migrate. So they just stay in their northern nesting areas year-round. This is likely due to, 1, global warming. The temperatures aren't getting quite as cold as historically they would, so the geese are able to survive in the colder areas in which before they would just dip from. Another reason is that there is just no need for them to migrate, not even concerning the weather, because lots of them have become urban pests, and they like to live on people's lawns, on golf courses, any open areas like soccer or football or whatever fields, and there's no need for them to leave because there's food available, there's wide open spaces available, and they're just like, nah, we're gonna stay here. Oftentimes, the Canadian geese are considered to be pests due to the fact that they are very loud. They're loud and angry, and they shit a lot. These guys shit so much, and that gets everywhere, and it's really annoying to clean, even though it is almost entirely plant matter because these guys are mostly herbivorous, but they do sometimes eat insects and fish. I personally don't mind them, they're fine. They're just hanging out, but they are quite often considered pests, especially on, sports fields and golf courses and all that. But what they're most famous for and has given them the name of Cobra Chickens is that they are very territorial and can get very aggressive, especially during mating season. Now, geese are monogamous. They will mate for life unless one of them dies, but that does not mean that they do not get horny and angry like many other species during mating season. Again, this is even more so after the goose babies hatch because then the parents have to protect the little baby geese. So they are very well known for attacking anything that they so choose. There's plenty of videos and pictures circulating the internet of people getting attacked by an incredibly pissed off goose. Now, I am Canadian. I have lived in British Columbia for my entire life, and I have never been attacked by a goose. I have lived around them they're actually not very much in my city right now because I do live in a slightly larger city, but in my hometown, they would be around my yard all the time. There was always at least a few geese there. You'd go out and there'd just be 6 or 7, 8, however many geese there, and I have never been attacked by one. I would drive past them almost every day, or walk past them, or bike past them, or something. I have never been attacked or even chased by a goose. So you do kind of have to try at least a little bit. Most of the time if you get attacked by a goose, you probably deserve it. Either you are being an asshole to the goose and intentionally antagonizing it, or you were just way too close to their nest than they were comfortable with. You might not have done that on purpose and, might not have realized, but you were probably close to the nest or just being a jerk. Regardless, they are a pretty big birds, so you don't really want to be attacked by them because they can do some damage. I think there's been records of people getting like their arm or fingers or something broken by a pissed off goose. But again, don't piss them off, don't get too close to them, and you'll probably be fine. So me personally, I like them, I'm a big fan, I think they're neat and a very iconic Canadian symbol. So we have our 6 Cobra Chickens, 5 golden animals, 4 screaming birds, 3 wonder chickens, 2 population declining turtle doves, and a partridge not in a pear tree.